40 weeks pregnant and still no baby? Well, first of all, congratulations. And also, how rude of that baby to treat your uterus like a long-term Airbnb. Listen, today we have a lot to go over. I'm going to share with you what your provider probably didn't tell you about week 40. We're going to talk about why your labor may not have started yet, signs that your body is still secretly preparing for birth, what to do today that increases comfort and progress, when to call your doctor ASAP, and why the due date is honestly kind of a scam. Listen, now is not the time to get distracted. I need you to stay with me because the number one tip that reduces interventions is coming at the end. So if you're 40 weeks or creeping close, this episode is your countdown guide. All right, now let's kick things off with a wild stat. Only 4 to 5% of babies are actually born on their due date. Your baby isn't late. It's more like the calendar might actually be wrong. Your due date is more like a guess date. Your body knows what it's doing. I've been saying it all along. You are literally made for this, but it's also a little mysterious. So imagine your body as an entire construction crew prepping for something like a grand opening. Even if you don't see the contractions yet, here's what's going down. Your cervix is softening like warm butter. Your baby's brains and lungs are undergoing final growth spurts, and your hormones are prepping your milk factory. And baby may be doing some secret acrobatics while trying to find the perfect launch position. In fact, here's something fun to know. In the final days, your baby starts releasing a surge of cortisol, which is known as a stress hormone. And that, my friend, is what triggers labor. Babies literally give the signal that it's time. This isn't procrastination, it's perfection. But here's what almost no one tells pregnant moms. Your body could be 90% ready and show zero signs on the outside. Let's decode the secret signs. Now, these don't always show up like in Hollywood contractions, but they are powerful clues. Number 1, lightning crotch. That means that your baby is low. Also, sudden bathroom trips. That means that your bowels are clearing space. Loose joints, well, you can thank relaxin for that. A burst of energy could mean that your birth nesting mode is in full gear. Or you may react differently and have the opposite effect, which means that you're exhausted and you want to hibernate like a bear. Either one of those could be your sign. Also, thicker and heavier discharge, as well as back pressure and period-like cramps. These signs are like your body's way of whispering, baby's coming, just wait. Now, I want you to go ahead and comment below real quick. When is your guest date? That's number 1. And I also want you to tell me, are you team get this baby out now or team take your time, my little sweet pea? Which one are you? I want to know. All right. Now, regardless of where you stand, your pain is valid and you're not alone in the why is everyone asking me if my baby is here yet marathon. Listen, you got to block all that out. What I want you to do now is just shift from waiting to prepping. And as a doula, here are some doula approved moves that encourage progress without pressure. First up, I want you to rest like it's your job. Being fatigued actually stalls labor. So napping at this stage is actually productive. Also, I want you to open your pelvis regularly. Think hands and knees, deep lunges, sitting on a birthing ball. In fact, the more space that you have when you open your pelvis, the better your baby's positioning. All right, now another fan favorite, especially used and recommended by a lot of us doulas, is to do the curb walk, which simply means 1 foot up, 1 foot down, right? This allows the baby to rotate into an optimal position for birth. Also, I want you to focus on taking warm showers and baths. That's going to equal relaxation, which is going to promote that oxytocin, which is going to equal contractions, which will definitely be your best friend in a labor that actually progresses. All right, so the next one is pretty juicy. So I need you to lean in close. Intimacy. Yes, I said it. Intimacy, you heard that right. Semen has prostaglandins, which actually help your cervix to say, okay, let's do this. As a matter of fact, in the doula community, we have a very popular saying that says the way that a baby gets in could very well be the way that initiates their exit. So intimacy could play a role in helping to get things going. Now, most importantly, I want to say, don't overdo it. You will need your strength for game day. So whatever you choose to do, from intimacy to nesting to whatever it is, don't overdo it. Take your rest. It's going to be important when the time comes. Now, let's talk about red flags and when to call your provider. If you experience bleeding like a regular period, so not spotting, I'm talking full-on bleeding, then that is something to pay attention to. If your baby's movement decreases, if you have a severe headache or vision changes, if you notice fluid that is leaking or intense pain that just feels wrong, you'll feel it in your gut, right? When something just feels off, I want you to call your provider. You never bother them by keeping yourself and your baby safe. All right, now let's talk about that due date anxiety. You might be feeling pressure to perform. You might have a fear of induction. Maybe that word is starting to be tossed around. You might have exhaustion, and the everyone else has had their baby blues. But I want you to normalize something very important. 40 weeks is a range, not a deadline. Let me say that again. 40 weeks is a range, not a hard deadline. For most first-time moms, a normal full-term pregnancy is 40 weeks and 5 days, all the way to 41 weeks and 3 days. So you're not late, you're right on track. And if induction does get mentioned, you have options. Here's a few things I want you to ask. What is the medical reason for the induction? Is it just a want, or is it actually a medical necessity? You also have the option to monitor and wait a few more days, especially if you and baby are still tolerating this pregnancy well. Also, you can ask, okay, so what are my alternatives? What's on the table? Let's talk about everything. Let's put it out there and talk about it. Remember, you are the CEO of your birth. Now look, the common myth is that 40 weeks is the end, but in reality, it's not the end of pregnancy. It's the start of labor prep. Your uterus is basically backstage yelling, "Places everyone, the show is about to start." And this, my friend, this is the real beginning. Now, at this stage of pregnancy, I know that you're probably just over it. You feel huge. You can't sleep. Your phone is blowing up with the text that says, "Any update?" But your body is extraordinary. You're creating a human who will one day call you mom. You're already a mother. You are already enough. Say it with me. My baby knows when to be born, and my body knows what to do when that time comes. You're doing an amazing job. You're so close to meeting the love of your life, and I'm so grateful that you've allowed me to walk you along week by week, step by step. All right, now there's still more to come, so be sure to tune in next week for week 41, pregnancy, or should we say birth updates.